Hello, welcome back to the Waffle Press Movie Podcast, except this is not a podcast, it's not a retrospective, which we've started. Gene, you're supposed to get a bowl for your popcorn, but you know what, we're giving you a heads up right now because Gene's very hungry, he's worked hard, we've all had a long day. We're here to talk about Get Out while we watch it.
Had to move a fridge today.
Okay, it sucks to be you, dude.
Gene's like this close to telling Diego to get out.
Got in my house.
I'm your host, Diego Crespo, but I'm not the only host today, because we're at Gene's new house. Say hi, Gene.
Hey, what's up?
And also Nick is here.
Woo!
Yeah. Nick, you hadn't seen Get Out until recently.
I hadn't. I've barely seen it maybe like a month ago.
Okay.
Yes.
Quick thoughts on it.
I liked it. I was actually really surprised on how much I liked it. I didn't think I was going to like it as much, and it's interesting. We'll talk about it, everything like that. When
Yes,
we start,
and we're going to start the commentary and the movie in 3, 2, 1. We're pressing play now.
Right now, we're seeing the planet of the Universal logo and everything else. Is it just me, or do you guys miss when it used to just be like a little airplane? They used to, like,
I miss the airplane. Yeah,
I miss the airplane. They used to tug it around the world.
I want them to. I wish all studios did this actually. Where they use their old logos for period piece movies and stuff. You know.
No, what's the Tom Cruise movie did that? American Made.
American Made did that.
Sony does that a lot, or Columbia.
I mean,
they do that because they did that for Superbad.
Yeah.
But the only reason I remembered it is because I watched the Flintstones a couple days ago.
Blumhouse.
The
people. 3 out of 5 movies are always good.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, the good ones are good.
Yeah. Well,
at least it's not Star Trek movies. You know, only the odd ones are good.
That was OG Star Trek.
That was OG Star
Now
Trek
it's
movies.
Good, bad Star Trek, but good movie, and then great movie.
Yes.
So, and then the next one, depending on what happens.
Is that coming out?
Tarantino might be doing it, but anyways, we're going to talk about Get Out again. Okay, so I actually listened to the Jordan Peele commentary to this movie.
Did you? I've been wanting to do it.
The commentary is fucking fascinating. He really goes into like detail with every little like inch of the frame, every like tick of the performance, every little bit of lighting, the cues, the audio.
That's interesting.
The dialogue, like it's a great commentary.
There's two different ones, right? There's 2 different commentaries. Like it's Jordan Peele, and then there's.
I just heard the regular one, the one from Jordan Peele. I haven't heard any other ones. I think there might be another one, and also one for the alternate ending, which we'll talk about later in the movie.
Yes, that's the one I had seen.
Okay, and so what Jordan Peele was saying about this opening was that he originally wanted it to be like from the perspective, the inside of like a white picket fence, traditional white American family, and then you see this guy, Lakeith Stanfield, an excellent actor, who is walking around, and so he wanted to frame him like Michael Myers in Halloween, and then he realized like in writing it, I guess, or whatever, that it just wasn't working on the page or on what he had envisioned, and so then he just reworked it to be like this, and everyone knows that people of color get the short end of the stick in America and most of the world. So even though you could toss this in front of any human being, and anybody with a brain or common sense would be like, yeah, this is an uneasy sequence because this poor dude's just walking around clearly a white neighborhood, and he starts getting stalked by this car. Like that's fucked up.
And then this guy fucking.
Honestly, it kind of looks like Bel Air, like the neighborhood.
Exactly.
Like, it very much.
There's
like,
nowhere to park.
Yeah, like there's nowhere to park. Like there's trees hanging over it. Like very Hollywood.
Also, across the street, Gene. Is that cool?
Yeah. That's
okay. I don't want to get towed while we're fucking doing this recording.
If you stay past 2 a.m., you're bad. But.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I don't think we're gonna stay.
No.
Okay. Besides that, he's shoving him in the trunk of a car.
Oh yeah. Spoilers for Get Out, I guess. You should have seen the movie by this point because it's a fantastic movie.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also, why are you listening to a commentary and you haven't seen the movie yet? Go watch the movie.
Yeah,
What's wrong with you?
Don't be an idiot. Okay, so for anyone who's curious about why that guy was wearing a medieval knight's helmet, so the lore, Jordan Peele has like lore books on the setup for the people who are body swapping, right?
Yeah.
And it all goes back to like the Knight of the Templars and stuff, and so that's him basically putting on his
like
his outfit. Yeah, that's his horror movie outfit.
That's interesting.
You know? And then they just didn't do it the rest of the movie because it doesn't fit anywhere else.
Right.
But that would have been how he goes out to pick up the victims.
You know what? And I thought it was really interesting, especially like later on. We'll get to it. Like kind of seeing that he's very impatient. The brother is very impatient.
Yeah.
Like he was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna do it now. Like at dinner, he's just like, yeah, why are we like wasting time? Let's just go ahead and like do what we're here to do.
Right.
Yeah. The actor's name's Caleb Landry Jones. We'll see him a lot more later in the movie.
He's Banshee.
He was Banshee in X-Men First Class.
That was the first
He's
thing I
in
thought.
Twin Peaks: The Return, and he is a fantastic actor. He always looks like he's like perpetually sweaty, like the opposite of The Rock.
He always
Instead of
looks
tall, dark, and handsome and buff, he's small, skinny, and frail.
He looks,
and weak.
yeah, he looks like he hasn't bathed in like 2 days, like for all his characters.
Yeah, and so when he showed up in the new Twin Peaks, I was like, oh, that's fucking perfect.
Who is he in Twin Peaks?
He is... I don't even remember all the characters' names. He is someone's boyfriend, and he's causing problems. Twin Peaks is complicated. That's basically all I can get into without spoilers.
It's impossible to get into.
But he's fantastic.
I actually hadn't caught from these like beginning shots that he was a photographer. I actually had.
Oh yeah, well I mean you see, it's kind of like a studio apartment.
Yeah,
it's a studio. I mean, I get that and everything like that, but I mean, like I didn't get that he was a photographer until like later on.
Do you want to say why he's a photographer? I feel like you know.
It's a
because of donuts.
Because of donuts, yeah. No, I don't even remember if he brought it up in the commentary, but I think just narratively that allowed him to be more proactive in the story without making him look like an idiot. Also,
right?
You know, because he's a very proactive main character for a horror movie, especially. Daniel Kaluuya, who is up for an Oscar, we don't know if he's gonna win at the time of this recording, but he probably should because he's fantastic. We'll talk about why he's fantastic.
I actually thought the reason why they made him a photographer. I mean, a photographer was because he was so. Like that's supposed to explain why he sees so many different details.
Right, he's very observant.
He's very observant, and he's able to like pick out like the smallest details and kind of go like, wait a minute, that's weird.
Yeah, and makes him more proactive in a story like this, and then also gives arguably the worst person in that little cul-de-sac that really creepy line later, which I'll definitely touch on when it comes up because it's horrifying and fantastic.
Was it cameras in certain situations have helped people of color?
Oh, really?
Phone cameras, so that's why it snaps them out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wait, what happened?
That's what Jordan Peele said.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what was it?
He said that cameras help people of color in certain situations. Like recording things or...
No, that's true, yeah. Think of all the police shootings that happened, you know?
Yeah.
That's why they snap.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, because that's basically what this movie is about. Stuff like that.
Basically it is, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what the movie's about, and I mean, even the alternate ending, which we'll talk about when we get to the alternate ending and everything like that. When we get to the end.
Oh yeah, this is the original version of the movie. We should have probably said that in the beginning. I'll put that in the title, so as to not freak anyone out.
Or anything like. Wait, is there like a director's cut of the movie?
No, it's just they changed the ending
alternate.
They play the movie the same, and then they cut in the alternate ending, which I actually haven't seen. I just know what it entails.
I've actually seen the alternate ending. Yeah, it's pretty good. Actually, I have been wanting to go see because I think they're re-showing it right now. Get Out in like certain movie theaters.
They were on like President's Day or something.
Yeah, they replayed it on President's Day because that was 1 year anniversary for free in certain theaters, and then for the AMC always does the Academy nominee movies. They'll play like 4 or 5 a day. But I didn't want to watch Darkest Hour or 3 Billboards again. So
I still haven't seen Darkest Hour.
I still haven't seen 3 Billboards.
You guys aren't missing out. Like, you know, every year there's always like, oh, these movies, of course, these are the ones nominated for Oscars. And the last couple of years there kind of haven't been. These are the 2 inserts this year. So.
Oh, are these the 2 where we're like, we need to fill a bill?
Yeah. But honestly, like, I'm, like, as someone who, like, always wished that the Academy would, like, stray away from like the beaten path of like what they consider Oscar nominees or Academy Award worthy. I'm very happy that Get Out got nominated because honestly, it's one of the best movies of 2017, if not at least the most important one.
Do they use the term like Oscar bait films?
In regards to what, like in life?
The Post?
Oh no, like movies like what's that movie that came out last? Like The Artist or like.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I know some people get very defensive about like a term like Oscar bait is because they're nominated because they're good. It's like fucking no. I guess it's ultimately subjective, like all movies are, but like no, like I don't think so. And then because like The Artist, for example, just really quick, like no one remembers The Artist until you bring up like remember that movie that won that year? Oh, The Artist.
Or there's another movie that everyone forgets.
There's plenty of them. And, Crash people remember because they're like, that one? Really? Mm-hmm. It's funny. But, like, but just Get Out even being nominated, I think, says a lot.
No,
I can
see Crash because it had such a diverse cast for the time.
It had a... You know what? Crash is the perfect movie about racism made by conservative white people. Like, honest to God, because it talks about racism but doesn't actually know anything about it.
Right, it's like, was it like, what's his name?
Well, like, they redeem, like, the
Kevin
racist
Dillon's
cop.
character. He's racist because, why? What was it?
I actually do like the fact that there is a bit of, like, a funny man. Like he's very much
the TSA guy. Yeah. I'm really glad he's in the movie because he really helps.
Yeah, Lil Ray Howery.
Yeah,
but bring a lot of substance.
But I do like the idea because I mean, as anybody who's like of color, even Hispanics or anything like that, going into a neighborhood or going to like go meet people that you haven't known from a different race. It's always like that moment whenever you're talking to somebody else going like, I wouldn't go. Like, that sounds awkward as hell. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
like, especially if anybody's, like, dated somebody from a different race and, like, gone to go see meet their parents for the first time. It's like, that sounds a terrible idea.
I mean, like, our generation still has stuff to work on, too, I think. But I think among our age group specifically, we're seeing a lot more people be more open about stuff. And it's like, like, even if you saw people in your families that are more, like, conservative about, like, who you date and romantic with, it's like, it doesn't matter to us anymore, because it's like, oh, you're going to die, and I don't care anymore. And we'll get back to Lil Ray Howery, but this scene caught me off guard the first time, because...
The deer?
Yeah, it's very heavy, and, like, not in a bad way, it caught me off guard, just, like, I wasn't prepared for, like, the emotional heft of it, and especially how it plays in later in regards to the character Chris's mother and that little story he has about her.
I thought it was
the trauma that he has.
I thought it was interesting because I had just seen The Invitation, and The Invitation starts almost identically to this.
Really?
Like, they're driving to a dinner and they hit something, and like they're forced to like deal with what's going on and like killing it or like watching it die. And then going on to, like, trying to, like, go on with the rest of their night. And it's kind of like an omen of, like, bad shit's about to happen. Like, you should go home.
Yeah.
Like, this should have ended your trip. Go home.
Okay. The close-ups on Daniel Kaluuya's eyes in this movie, I think, speaks to his, like, power as an actor. Because he says a lot without saying anything. Right. He's a very physical actor, but not in the way that, like, Johnny Depp is, where he's, like, goofy, like, running around wearing extravagant costumes. Like, he's wearing it on his emotions. Right. You know?
Eye sign language.
I did think this was... I thought this was a very interesting scene of when the officer asks for his ID. Oh, okay. And he's just very... He's like, oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Well, like, why she didn't want to give them...
Yes. Okay, did you listen to the commentary, too?
I feel
I didn't. But when I rewatched the movie a couple of weeks ago, I figured it out of like, because they didn't want to have any record.
Yeah,
of, like,
no paper trail is why she's like looking out for him here. And honestly, she still needs to get him there. So even if there wasn't like a clearly racist cop, there would be. She would do her part to be like, no, babe, I'll pay for this. I'll pay for that. You don't worry about anything, Yeah. I'll go into the gas station and get some gum. No, babe, I got it.
It's so that way there's no paper trail of where he went and how he got there.
Right. Yep.
And stuff like that.
The only other person, because he has no family, I think he says even in the movie.
His mom.
His only friend had... No, his mom died.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, like, in this part of
the only person that like knows he went
motherfucking TSA
is fucking TSA, and the only reason he starts thinking things are weird is because he's not answering his phone and because like he's watching his dog and he never comes to pick him up.
He's watching his dog. I have a question for you guys. So like I think I told this to Diego, like, would you want because it's it's Peele? Would you guys want Key to have some cameo? the film? Like,
not here.
No, I remember in the commentary he said that we thought about having Key in the fucking movie. Like I think he was supposed to be the gardener. He was originally supposed to be the gardener,
yeah,
and
would
then
that take you out of the movie?
I think it would.
I think that would have taken me out of the movie.
Like, what's that one Sean Connery did film that cameo in Skyfall?
That one would have worked because it's the 50th anniversary of Bond, and Bond's getting in touch with his roots. So it's literally that.
Yeah.
You know? That would have been a weird meta thing, but not like the Deadpool meta where it doesn't actually matter. It would have mattered like because that's the story they're telling in Skyfall. Mm-hmm. Here, it would have been nice to see a reunion, but it's like it doesn't matter to this movie. You know, they don't know each other in this world.
Not only that,
so
but
why
also,
would that matter?
Also, for this movie to come from mainly a comedic, comedic pairing and stuff like that.
Right.
I think it would have definitely pulled you out, and you would have been like, oh, this is definitely Jordan.
Yeah.
Like this would.
I love Keanu. It is adorable. But that's a comedy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want him to always do that. And Jordan Peele is clearly a brilliant artist who has a lot on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
I
think he does. I feel like him and David Lynch would have the best conversation ever because listening to him talk about how he casts actors, he's like, well, you pick the best ones for the part. Like, you think about your friends sometimes, but if they're not right for the part, they're not right for the part. Like, that's that. You know, you want to have fun with people you're working with. You want to trust people, and you want to make the best art that you possibly can.
Right.
But if they're not right for the role, they're not right for the role.
Yeah, so I'm going to cut you in the next movie.
Fair.
We'll cut you in the next movie.
I'm also not an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I just walk around the background sometimes.
I've actually been cut out of one of Gene's movies.
Yeah, we were cut out of BVS, huh, Nick?
We were cut out of BVS, and we were then put back in for the fucking extended edition.
That's right. We're in the football scene. If anyone's curious.
Yes, the football scene with the cops were watching.
So this is probably I think what sold me the most on Get Out, apart from the amazing trailer.
Yeah.
Is that it's not just tackling America's trying to take away our guns type outright racist. Yeah. It's tackling the Obama voting liberal racists.
Diet Coke racists.
Yeah, that was my big thing was I thought what it was gonna be was that he was because I thought it was gonna be such a mind fuck if he had been seeing things and stuff like that and then kind of going around it and going they're bad people and just coming down to
excellent marketing
they're just regular people. Why are you being this way? And it was kind of like a reverse racism thing where it was
reverse racism isn't a thing. But
okay, well he was being racist towards the white people and stuff like that. I thought that was going to be kind of an interesting take on it, but I definitely like the way that it came out way better.
And honestly, even for that sorry to cut you off, just really quickly, even if that was played like a horror comedy, I don't even think we would need a movie like that right now at this time. Actually, and I think Jordan Peele's smart enough to recognize that too.
Yeah, not to cut you off, this is an extraordinarily important moment.
Yes, no, we got to talk about it too because there's clearly a more so than just family legacy here. It's it's kind of telling you just how far back all this weird cult thing goes without ever telling you what it is outright. Yeah. And I can never remember this actor's name. I got to pull it up. But this guy's so good.
Yeah.
Did you get Bradley Whitford?
Yeah. Did you guys see the meme where someone because it's a meme with the dad where he's I would have seen Black Panther 3 times.
Oh yeah.
I saw Black Panther 3 times opening weekend.
Yeah.
Which it's a fucking good movie. Go support good movies, and also it's important to have conversations about race and identity and stuff like that. But also don't there's a different level of uncomfortableness than just being racist to someone. You could be overselling it. All right, I get it. You're a good guy. Now prove it to me by just treating me like a human being. You know, because this plays in the bigger part of that liberal racism too. It's all right, dude, cool. You're kind of fetishize. I mean, they ultimately they fetishize his skin. You know, oh yeah, I want that. It's in. Black is in.
I kind of felt it was much more of a changing their clothes. You know, it's new. It's what's hip right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in, and I do think that's really interesting and stuff like that.
Bradley Whitford, I was right.
Were you right?
I'm so happy about that.
He's a great actor.
He is. Also, he is in Cabin in the Woods. I don't want to spoil that. If you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, we got to do a commentary for that because that movie's a fucking blast.
But that's funny. You know what? I knew he was in another horror film. I just couldn't remember which one.
Oh, and he's so good. He's so good in this.
Best president.
Best president of my lifetime. I agree.
Oh, okay. So the next question is: so like, I went to a Q&A with Jordan Peele for when I saw it at an early screener, but like he said, it plays a lot differently with the current president than like it would have during
Obama's tenure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I agree. Yeah. I definitely agree. I mean, this movie really does show when it was made. Definitely. I mean, if you were to watch this movie, 5-10 years down the line or anything like that, I think.
I don't know if we're gonna be here in 5 to 10 years down the line.
Let's hope
I mean, global warming's a bitch, but I mean, Jesus. But I mean,
nuclear destruction, but okay.
No, but what was it? But what I'm saying is, like, you can definitely tell this is made during the Obama era. Like, this is an Obama era like movie.
Yeah, where it's like, yeah, of course things are better now than they were before, arguably, but like, there's still things that need to be sorted out. Racism never died; it's just changed. And then Trump became president, and like, oh fuck. It definitely never went away.
Right.
No, yeah. No, it's just like been like cooking under the surface.
Yeah, but it's kind of. I mean, we never shy away from politics on the show because there's clearly a line between what is right and what is Republican.
I mean, alt-right.
Yeah,
hey.
And just it's important to talk about these things, but also. I think movies like this are why movies are so important too, just to keep the discussion going and also show us like, oh, just because you're not an outright like racist doesn't mean you're not acting a certain way that makes people of other races uncomfortable. Obviously, this is the extreme. Clearly,
I actually thought it was really interesting on her idea of like, oh, he's a smoker. I need to hypnotize him to get rid of the smoking and stuff like that because there's an actual line in Altered Carbon where they put him in like a new body and like she's like, why are you smoking? You've never smoked before. And he was like, you put me in a shell that's addicted to nicotine. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, I'm addicted to fucking nicotine still.
No,
the body is still addicted and like it still wants it and stuff like that. Which also, if you haven't seen Altered Carbon, pretty good.
I have no interest in that.
But really? What?
I think I'm tired of the Blade Runner aesthetic when it's not in Blade Runner. That's a conversation for another time, but I think I'm out of it.
It's super funny because I remember, when I first started watching it, I'm like, who did the casting on this when, like, fucking everybody who's ever been in a Joss Whedon anything is in this movie.
Oh, really? Yeah. So I was going to say, she just tells him, like, don't smoke to not, like, ruin his body.
Yeah, because they want his body.
Well, it's specifically his eyes. Doesn't
smoke. Well,
no. Remember, it's not specific as to what yet, so they need everything intact for the auction.
Yeah, but not only that, but also you don't want to be selling damaged goods because I mean, if he's
tar lungs.
Yeah,
exactly.
He could have tar lungs.
Maybe someone else is smoking there, right? But then they're gonna have to go through another experiment. Like, I mean, I think that just goes to show, like, how often in movies people like smoke, they're villainous and whatever, right? Like, I don't smoke, but like. It's it just goes to show like how there's no black hat, so to speak. There's no like signifier as to like who real life villains could be in a way, like everyone has something that they need to look out for. There's no like clear and cut good and evil, so to speak, in terms of like what people wear, what they look like.
Oh, definitely.
This is a very interesting scene because I feel like even though the brother is the most, like, upfront about what's going on, I feel like he's the one that, like, everything is weighing on the most.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one that is, like, being, like, because of what they're doing, he's destroying himself. Like, he's an alcoholic, he fucking smokes all the time, he gets drunk all the time, and he's just kind of like a, just a fuck-up.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, but it's more of like you can see his conscience kind of like weighing in.
I don't know
if it's his conscience.
He doesn't have none of these people have a conscience because not a single one of them feels an inkling of bad. Like, even Allison Williams, who's fucking incredible in this, right?
No, but
she was being interviewed, I forget by who, I think it was...
Stephen Colbert?
Colbert? Yeah, okay.
Was it Colbert?
Yeah,
like
and she was saying, like, how even people are still coming up to her and being like,
she was good, right?
she was good, right? Like, she felt bad what she was doing. She's like,
and
no.
she, like, shoots at people?
Yeah, no. She has no remorse. What she's doing is just another day in the life. This day just went really bad for her. That's it.
She voted for Trump, too?
Honestly, I feel like she'd vote for Obama. This family definitely voted for Obama.
Okay.
Because then, like, oh yeah, then there's more black people coming around the neighborhoods. We're going to have more access to stuff, you know?
Yeah. They're one of the Obama...
Like, a better America is better for their business.
But they're totally one of the Obama-Trump voters that came out.
What I mean?
There were Obama-Trump... People went from Obama to Trump in voting.
All the edgelords that are like...
No, not edgelords. They're like middle America people that just...
Yeah, but that's not...
There are people.
That's a totally different topic for another day.
That's a more complicated can of worms, I feel like.
Yeah, everything like that. That's much more of like a Hillary problem.
Yeah.
Than it is them. I know a lot
the 2016 election was fucked, everyone.
It was a very complicated time.
You either vote for the fuck candidate or the one who's got us in an even worse situation right now. There was no winning. But you could have won definitely more.
There was a definite win on that one.
No, you're right. I phrased that weird. Because we're all on the same page for that.
I wouldn't have to worry about nuclear war.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what?
I worded that weird. I apologize.
I did think the idea of, like... But as I was saying earlier, the idea of, like, I'm going to finish it right now is very prominent. Like, especially when
he's like, Scott Evil, why don't you just shoot him? You know, it's like, instead of putting lasers on the shark.
Yeah, like, why don't we just shoot him in the head?
Yeah.
And be done with him? Like,
Scott,
that's not how we do things.
Is it like that, do you feel like?
Yeah.
No, it totally is. And then,
no, but
for everyone else, this is like, they're hunting right now.
Yeah, they're like playing with their food.
Yeah.
But not only that, but also I was actually really interested to see. I was unsure of whether or not she had hypnotized him as well to control him.
Who?
The mom. The mom? Like, control her son?
Yeah, to control her son as well. Because there is a moment there where she goes, stop, and, like, you just kind of see his entire, like...
I mean, maybe. I'd make him more aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, the way that I felt it as is, like, oh, yeah, like, he's very, like, high aggressive. Mm. And, like, he's very everything like that, so maybe she, like, hypnotized him where, like, she can control him.
I don't know, I think he's just loyal to his family.
Could be. And I did think it was interesting, too, of, like... the thing is that I was unsure of whether or not he had done that, so that way he thinks that she's on his side. So that way he confides in her and, like, feels safer. Or if it was just, like, a fuck-up. I was very unclear about that. But I was like...
For what specifically?
Because, like, this moment where, like, she's freaking out and, like, she's, like, very offended and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, like, this happens to me all the time, but he's still... And he's getting... And it's kind of, like, you know, bringing them closer and stuff like that. I was unsure of whether or not the brothers attempted, like, jujitsu fucking, like, knocking him out.
Oh, that was his way of doing that? Because that's all he knows what to do?
Yeah.
That's funny. I never thought of that. That's interesting. Or maybe he just wanted to get him right there. That's an interesting thought. Because
remember, like, the entire, like, for the rest of the movie, like, he's confiding in her, like, he's telling her, like, the way he feels and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, that makes total sense.
And
they're in a relationship. Well, he thinks they are.
Well, yeah.
Turns out he's very wrong. And honestly, if there wasn't, I'd argue saying spoiler heavy because obviously it's a horror movie, you know shit's gonna get fucked up.
Absolutely.
But if the trailers held back a tiny bit, I wouldn't even have assumed the third act reveal for Rose.
No, yeah.
Because there's a shot in front of the trailer. I'm like, fuck. Well, there it is.
That is true. In which I think it's the scene where she's wearing a white shirt, right?
No, she points a rifle outside of a burning building.
That's the scene I was talking about. She's wearing a white shirt and she has like a rifle and like that. It's the scene right after she eats cereal in like the weirdest fucking way.
Yeah. There's a reason for that too, because she separates the coloreds from the whites.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I've been I don't have a refrigerator worked up currently, so I've been eating cereal without milk for the last couple of
Are you
days.
just gonna eat cereal with water?
No, just cereal without milk, just cereal by itself.
What are you,
Honestly, no, that's a good snack. Yeah.
Is
I used to take Honey Bunches of Oats to school. Remember?
Oh yeah. Well,
just the whole box.
I really want that milk though.
I mean, did you hook up your fridge?
We're going to tonight.
All right, nice.
When we're done with this, that's what Gene's gonna do.
My fridge.
I was unsure if whether or not, like, the reason why that's open is because she was putting stuff away, or if it just like swung open.
What do you think?
Like I was unsure if like somebody had been walking inside. Yeah. Like I originally thought it was the maid. Mm-hmm. Like the maid was trying to like put stuff away or anything like that, like hide specific stuff inside that like closet, because the maid does like walk in there from time to time throughout the movie.
Right.
And she is also creepily walking behind him. Mm-hmm. See, and I think this is a very interesting scene as well. You know, and it's so telling when you see later on that I mean, we've already said spoilers, but I mean, when the grandfather comes out to be the fucking, like, the gardener.
Right.
And he's running and stuff like that, and it's so
he's
telling.
Still not over.
Yeah, it's so telling of, like, yeah, he was almost over being beaten by Jesse Owens. Mm-hmm. Right. And, like, he realized, well, there's a way I can be as fast as Jesse Owens. Mm. I just need to be black, and I can be as fast as Jesse Owens.
He's very creepily running too. Something about that.
No, that's horrifying.
He's like angry running.
No, but this is a great little fucking. Oh my god, right there too. He's like, oh shit, that was scary. Oh shit, that was scary. Like he just keeps turning around and scary shit's happening.
And she's kind of like cross-eyed, which is also kind of weird. And it's
oh, she's just looking at her reflection. So she doesn't even see him. So that probably is freaking him the fuck out even more. Mm. And then she just wondered, like, oh my god, this poor kid. Like, how did he not have a heart attack before like they took him?
But I think it's interesting too, because especially if you find out they're like the grandfather, the grandmother,
right,
and stuff like that, and to kind of go like, oh, she's just admiring like her facial features and everything like that.
Well, not hers.
Well, yeah, she's
she's admiring the facial features.
Yeah.
Of someone she took.
Also, Catherine Krenner was pretty good in this.
Yeah, she's excellent, man.
Yeah.
She's the most reserved, I think, of the family. Mm-hmm. But just as scary in her own way.
Yeah.
Later on, and that cup becomes a fucking, like, it's like Jason Voorhees' like, machete, dude.
Yeah, like when that thing comes out, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like, oh, things about to go down and shit like that. That's actually, it's really cool. The idea that, like, he turned a cup, something, like, so harmless, into, like, the weapon of the enemy. It's awesome.
You getting sick?
Huh?
Are you getting sick?
No, just...
You gonna die?
Yeah, right on the
lousy smarch weather.
Yeah. And you know, credit to Jordan Peele too for not making this like goofy as shit.
Yeah.
Because like hypnosis in film, I don't know why. Personally, I always have trouble connecting with it.
Mm-hmm. And what about like that one Hitchcock movie, like Spellbound? You don't like?
I haven't seen Spellbound.
No, yeah, well, it works there.
But I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying for me, most of the time, I can tell when it works for other people. I'm like, yeah, but for me, it doesn't.
What does?
Hypnosis and film, and here I completely buy into it.
Yeah, let's try to hypnotize you right now.
Nah.
Or like Captain Underpants, did you buy?
Oh, okay. Captain Underpants is incredible.
Did you buy the hypnosis?
Captain Underpants is an excellent animated movie that deserved an Oscar nomination.
I don't know about it. It deserved an Oscar.
The Boss Baby got nominated. I like that movie, but the Boss Baby got nominated until it deferred an end.
Boss Baby?
Oh yeah, dude, it's hilarious. That first half of that movie is so fucking funny.
Did you like Ferdinand?
I haven't seen it. I had no interest in watching it.
Did you see Ferdinand?
No. Why would I do that?
Oh, it has John Cena.
I love John Cena, but I'm not watching Ferdinand.
He's a bull.
He's not the Rock.
I mean, this goes back to the Oscar thing, where it's like, I don't know if that deserves getting an Oscar nomination. At the end of the day, what does deserve to get that? So
how much longer do you think until The Rock gets an Oscar?
When he throws down in a serious movie for quote-unquote serious movie for the Academy.
I feel like he could.
Yeah, he's got the acting chops for it, you know. But I don't know. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I feel like I give it like 6 years.
Depends on his career trajectory, because honestly, he's not in that many good movies. He's in big movies, and I like a handful of them a lot.
And he gets paid a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can't say you like Baywatch, or...
Yeah, you know? I mean, kind of like Robin Williams, where it's like, oh, I love Robin Williams. How many good movies was he really in?
A lot? Oh, no, like Dead Poets Society.
Dead Poets Society.
You can count them on like 2 hands, basically.
No,
Dead Poets
no,
Society.
that's bullshit.
I love Hook.
Mrs.
I want to do it. Dead Poets Society. Hello,
guys. We're gonna talk about Get Out.
No, because
you made a statement.
You
about
said
Robin Williams.
I love Robin Williams.
Good Morning Vietnam.
I'm not blaming him at all. Yeah,
Good Morning
great.
Vietnam.
Great.
What's the Christopher Nolan movie?
Insomnia.
Insomnia.
One Photo's pretty good.
No, not Whatever Photo. Final Cut.
Final Cut.
There's another one. I would say Aladdin.
Guys, something's happening right now.
Yeah, no, he's getting hypnotized. Oh,
because you insulted Robin Williams.
I didn't insult Robin Williams.
I
said the movies that he was in.
Actually, speaking of which,
I think
I went back to listen to
the movie where he's dead. Only heaven knows, or only heaven waits.
Yeah, actually,
keep going. Until you take back that statement.
I'm not gonna.
I thought it was really funny. Speaking of Robin Williams, I went back to go listen to old podcasts. I did not realize that our first podcast was the Robin Williams one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
I totally did
Mrs.
not. I didn't.
Mrs. Doubtfire's good. Yeah.
Are you still looking this up? Yeah. We get it.
Yeah.
Goodwill Hunting.
I don't like Goodwill Hunting.
What made dreams may come? Patch Adams.
World's Greatest Dad.
World's Greatest Dad.
I can't
These
stand
are like
Greatest
great
Dad.
films.
Really?
You showed me that movie and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't like this at all. But that's
I like the
King,
director. The fucking Fisher King.
That one I actually haven't seen, so
it's really good.
Okay.
Like, no, he's a great actor. Like,
yes, he is.
Yeah, like, everything he deserved. Yeah.
Robin Williams. I agree.
He's mostly in good movies.
So Robin Williams aside,
all right, the Sunken Place.
The Sunken Place, Gene. Okay, this entire hypnosis thing is very interesting. Of like her tapping into like his worst fears and like his worst memory, and like a big regret that like it's kind of like hard to forgive himself for, and like that's what she's attaching this control on. It's a very interesting like idea of like, oh yeah, like until he forgives himself for it, he'll never be able to become free of this.
No, it works twofold. I feel like, because that's ultimately what ends up happening. But it's also like this sounds fucking amazing. But like it's also it's a different way for white prejudice to kind of like shackle people of color, specifically black people. Mm-hmm. You know, like instead of like these institutions that are creating ghettos or like funneling drugs into like Harlem or anything like that, she's tapping into him, his conscious, his subconscious, and using that to trap him. That's insane. How do you think of that? Like, that's fucking brilliant.
Have you seen any of this like fan art Jordan Peele has shared like on his Twitter?
I probably have. I don't remember now.
I feel like there was I can't remember. There's some really good fan art for the Sunken Place. Yeah, it relates to that. And his phone though, I was trying to.
Yep, always disconnected. It's a good little.
How much charge does he have? Like he has like 30%.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I don't think.
Something like that. Also, I wonder how much Microsoft paid for that.
Oh, this movie's only cost like $5 million to make.
Hey.
Yeah, so maybe 4 of that million.
They paid for most of it.
Yeah, I don't know. No, they're not like Sony that'll just like fucking make everything Sony products.
I thought, but I did think that was really funny because I did notice that while I was watching the movie, I'm like, they're showing that Microsoft phone like a lot.
Yeah. Well, you know, product placement.
And to go back to him in the camera, not just because it's on screen right now. It's also like his happy place, you know, like his.
It is very much his happy place
where he gets like everyone kind of has something, you know. Like I have an advisor whose like comfort zone is they'll have a cup of coffee in their hand, you know, or like when you're kids, like blankets and shit.
Right.
You know, fuck, it's still blankets now. It's cold right now.
Cold.
So that's an interesting little.
I also thought it was really interesting too because I felt like the Sunken Place was very much like behind his camera. Like that window that he's seeing everything through is like the lens of his camera and stuff like that.
Oh, it's supposed to be like a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And stuff like that. Like I thought that was really interesting.
Oh, the actual Sunken Place when he's in it too reminds me of Under the Skin. I think that was supposed to be like an influence of it. which is also a fucking excellent little science fiction horror film. You might need to watch it twice though.
I love this moment because you think that what's gonna happen is the quintessential like coming up and like him talking to like the gardener, just like talking like shit about the people that live there, and just going like, yeah, dude, I hate these people, like their dicks or anything like that. And he has like the weirdest interaction.
Yeah. Not only that, like his first line when you ask him like what you got going on over there, he's like, nothing I want to be doing, sir. And it's just like, ooh, like that speaks volumes to me. That's the first reaction that this mind controlled victim has. Like, oh, nothing I don't want to be doing.
See, my thing is that I was also really interested to see if whether or not, like, how exactly does it work necessarily? Like, is it are the people that are in charge of their body, are they just clicking in and out?
No, they're there all the time. They replace their brains.
Yeah. So my thing is that if that is the case, are they only putting up this act only when like she brings someone new, for the most part, like? Or are they always like the help?
I highly doubt that, because then why would you do that? Why would you change the bodies?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, not only that, but also why weren't they just like a neighborhood? Like, why weren't they just like a neighborhood family?
Right.
Wouldn't a black?
Well, for everyone else, remember this is a whole community that's like this.
Yeah, I know, but wouldn't it? I don't know why. I just kind of felt like if they were people of like the community and stuff like that, like I kind of felt like it would have put him more at ease instead of like just seeing like black people as the help and stuff like that. Like,
well, remember, he wasn't weirded out by them until he starts talking to them.
Yeah,
and he starts seeing how they act, and then they're clearly like off.
Yeah.
Bitch, like you don't know.
I love her room because it's just like a little kid's room, like I left it. But then it just happens to be the room of like a psychotic murderer.
She's kind of like,
it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Like she's kind of like childlike in a way.
That's her act.
That's her act.
That's her act. Yeah, and
very
then
oblivious.
And then she's just like stone cold, doesn't even flinch over the phone, nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like she's putting up this act, and then in reality, like she has a goal that she's trying to get to.
Good
like
production
the
design.
Ivanka Trump of, was it horror villains? Or what's the one?
The Ivanka Trump.
What's the daughter?
Everyone is aware that all the Trumps are evil. Gene.
Like where she's like, "Oh, I'm about climate change."
As a kid, dude, feel bad.
Jordan Peele.
He's trapped.
Jordan Peele shared the meme where it was like when they passed the climate change, the thing that they.
Treaty. Do you want to find the meme before you start?
Yeah, no, the treaty where it was like, where are the keys, and then they did the keys meme with her.
Yeah. Sorry, babe.
Yeah, sorry, babe. Yeah.
I don't know, but like I don't know why. Like do you think that they're acting that way because they don't actually know how, like they're acting like they're white selves?
Yeah, of course.
And they
especially because they were elderly before they switched bodies.
That's fair point.
And so they're like, oh, like he says like, oh, she's a doggone treasure when he's talking about his granddaughter, because he doesn't know how to talk about his granddaughter, especially in another man's body. Like Chris is trying to relate because like you said, just when people of color see each other like at a predominantly white event, it's like, oh thank God, like I can
exactly.
Here. And then he can't do that, and so they had to put up a facade. But it's like if a Scooby-Doo villain forgot their costume,
The space kook without his like minor outfit or something like that.
Yeah. Also, I just want Scooby-Doo to come back. That's all. I just really like Scooby-Doo.
Have James Gunn bring him back.
I think James Gunn directing a Scooby-Doo movie would be.
He wrote the first movie. Yeah, apparently, it's not very close to his script though.
Did he write the second one? Or
I don't think he wrote the second one.
The second one's pretty dog.
Yeah, the next one, like
they're both hilarious and
I really
not
like
very well made.
I like the first one.
I like the first one. Like it's pretty funny. Like,
yeah, because
when the steam's coming out of their van.
Dude, they're cooking. Or
well, I think some of his scripts survived because he had the line where it's like, "Oh, my name's Mary Jane. Oh, I love that name."
Yeah.
I wonder what.
Perfect casting for those.
Yeah.
Oh, and then here it's just like, because the initial like approach with him and Rose's family. It's like, yeah, you know, like it's a little uncomfortable, but I'm used to that uncomfortable. And then here they start feeling him up and start talking to him about like his skin and stuff, shit. And it's just like, oh, this is like a whole other level of uncomfortable. Like this is uncomfortable for uncomfortable people.
Yeah, like I'm gonna leave.
Yeah,
and like never come back.
Okay, this is the sort of thing where you're just like, it's getting a little weird, dude.
You know what I thought? You know what I thought was really interesting is because I was playing Uncharted 3 a couple of weeks ago. There's an actual scene where they're trying to buy art and like old antiquities, and it very much reminded me of that when like everybody's showing up in the black cars and everybody's very like wealthy and they're looking around and kind of seeing the merchandise and stuff like that. And I thought it was really interesting that only the like she is bringing like one black dude at a time.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like it's not like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna bring a whole, like we all have people bringing people.
Oh, that shot's creepy as hell. Yeah. Like it's clearly him trying to be like, hey, come on, Chris, come meet the fam.
But you know for a fact it's like that's what you're gonna buy.
Yeah. Like, hey, come on, take him out up close, you know. And yeah, it's dehumanizing. And I think deep down he senses that, but not in the way that he expects, you know?
Yeah.
And this interaction, when it happens in the trailer, I think that's when it sold me, like, officially, like, oh shit. And then the second half is just like this incredible montage of images and shit. Yeah.
Honestly, when I first thought of it, I thought it was Stepford Wives. Yeah, I thought that's what they were doing. Like they were just putting a chip in their brain and they were making them like different, not fucking taking out their entire brain and swapping them out with other people.
You could probably do something like that with in terms of like tackling the same themes and like about like liberal racism and stuff. But I feel like this incorporates it in a way that none of us like on the planet expected to.
No, yeah.
Right. It's just very Stepford Wives, little body snatchers, very OG George Romero.
Yeah.
Apparently Romero was a big influence on Jordan Peele's like horror scripts.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. R.I.P. to the legend. We also did Night of the Living Dead commentary, so go ahead and check that out too. Oh my god, and then that little fucking... Because usually that's funny, you know, we've all gotten that, but here the context is so different with that little handshake. Just, oh fuck. And then, like, okay, we're from LA, we can talk about, like, how we've seen odd pairings romantically, right?
Yeah, but
so that's not out of the question.
Yeah, but even that scene, no, but even that scene where everybody's complimenting him, and like, because what you think that they're complimenting him on is his clothes and everything like that, but what they're really complimenting him on is his new body, and like he's like, yeah, look at it, it's really nice, right?
Yeah.
Like, they did a good job.
Sergeant Bill Dotrieve.
Yeah, he's also Milton in Office Space.
Oh, yep.
Dodgeball. Like
he's also in Dodgeball as well.
Steven Root's really good. Very understated.
Very, very good actor.
So, like you were saying, Gene, he wants him for his eyes. It was like
he doesn't see color.
Yeah, which is like some bullshit racist thing. It's like, I don't see color. I hate everyone equally. It's like, motherfucker.
Well, no, like it doesn't. Yeah, it's
sorry.
Everyone sees color. It's like
I got a text of Nicole seeing Annihilation right now.
Oh, okay.
She was like, "I'm not waiting for you. I'm gonna go see Annihilation."
I just came out of Annihilation like prior to heading over here. Just a quick shout out to Annihilation for being my most anticipated movie of 2018, and also probably going to remain my favorite movie of 2018. But as for Get Out,
I was actually really surprised that it was only this family that is doing the catching and like retrieving.
Well, it might not be, because if it's hooked back to like the Templar stuff, what if I think, because you know there's been talk of a possible sequel if Jordan Peele wants to do it, because they clearly know that he's the moneymaker now.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's like other cells, you know, these are essentially like weird bioterrorists. You
really need to watch The Invitation.
I do. Because I love Karen Kasuma too.
You really need to watch that movie.
It was great. Yeah.
But what was it like? I do think that I think that would be really interesting. Kind of like going, like finding out that there's like several cells and stuff like that.
Oh, this scene always scares the shit out of me. Oh my god, because that's the stuff of nightmares, and apparently that was a nightmare Jordan Peele had.
Really?
Yeah. That he was walking around a house or something like that, and then this shot of everyone stopped talking when he left the room. or they all just kept like looking at him or
to watch
something
him.
like that. Yeah. That, don't quote me on that if that's not true, but I'm pretty sure he brings it up in the commentary.
That's funny.
Like if Mother was good.
Let's not talk about that.
No, but I, you know what? To be totally honest, that actually kind of sold me that there was something wrong.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, because originally I just when he's talking to all these old people, to these people, I just thought they were just being weird and they were kind of being uncomfortable around they've never really hung out with black people before. And they're just kind of very awkward.
They're white, hard left liberals.
Exactly, and that's what I was thought. That's what
I'm
I
not racist. I never learned how to talk to black people though.
Yeah,
so
but it's
kind of at a loss here.
Yeah, but it's really awkward. And then that moment when he goes upstairs and everybody's just quiet, you're like, oh, there's something fucking wrong.
Yeah,
there's definitely a problem.
That is very Body Snatchers. I love 3 versions of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That is, I want people to keep making that every 20, 30 years.
Do you like the Nicole Kidman one?
His issues, but I kind of like it. Would recommend it like the other ones. Yeah. I got to do a commentary on the 70s one though. That one's my favorite. And there's a piercing fucking screech in that movie that is horrifying, and it gives me the same feeling that the silence does in this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it from Twin Peaks? What's her name, Screech?
Yeah. No Twin Peaks spoilers because I want the world to witness that. And yes, that also fucked me up forever. I didn't sleep for hours after that was over.
See, I love this guy just because he is the everyman.
Yeah.
He is dude, if you're getting that much weird shit, dude, leave.
Mm-hmm.
I would have left already.
He's the TSA. Mm-hmm. It's a hard job. Let's put that.
But I love the idea of dude, that's just too weird. Why haven't you left? Why have you not? Why are you still in the house?
But I mean, it's also kind of just goes to show the lengths that systemic racism has kind of had on entire communities of people. Is they're just being a little weird. They don't mean any harm by it, And then ultimately they mean the utmost harm by it.
Oh yeah, they want to. They want to figure it go to literally kill you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And so I was telling Gene when I rewatched this when I got it. Shout out to my cousin Cynthia for getting me for Christmas. Best Secret Santa ever. And it gets scarier when you rewatch it.
Yes.
Because the uncomfortable stuff, you know what it means now. Mm-hmm. And so stuff like this, it's kind of funny and cutesy because Lil Howery sells the shit out of it. And you're right, perfect everyman. And but Daniel Kaluuya's character Chris is just he's so unaware, but not in a way that's frustrating. Where he's not being an idiot. He's not being an idiot.
He's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also you can tell that he really likes this girl, and he's just kind of I'm gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick it out. It's awkward, and because I've been in that situation where I've been at a girlfriend's family get together, and they're all white people, and then they say something really awkward, and you're just kind of okay. That's, that's nice.
I feel like I know who does.
No, but I mean,
no names.
No, but I mean, in general, but everybody, I think everybody's been in that situation where, you just kind of
sure.
you let it slide because either you're on a date or it's a friend's parent,
right,
or something like that, and they made a weird comment, and you're just kind of okay,
no.
I'm just gonna let it slide. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Also, she is terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's not even her smile. It's her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes are terrifying. It's they're peering into his soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because she's not blinking. She's not, she's just, holding
she doesn't
that
think
stare.
she blinks, no.
No, but she's just holding that stare. Mm-hmm. And the stare is just, piercing.
And the way the camera's so close to her face like that, and the space feels so compressed around it, where it's here it's this is more calm, flat, a little more naturalistic.
Right.
It looks like a normal human eye is witnessing that, and this is just it's invading your space.
I feel it's when you're seeing the monster for the first time in a horror film.
Yeah.
It's right up in its face, and it's giving you the darkest kind of feeling to it.
Mm-hmm. Then back to the eyes, they start watering here, and it's so uncomfortable. And I guess Jordan Peele was saying that, I don't know if this was in the commentary, one of the directors talks, because they do those for the roundtable discussions leading up to the Oscars, right? and he did this take, and he was like, the first time he felt like it was good. Let's get it again for safety. She wants to do it, and they kept doing it. They did it like 11 times, and every time he felt it got a little better. So they did the last one is this take. Like it was, I guess it was just like one long take, and they just cut back and forth between the footage between the two actors.
See you know that moment when she cries. I was unsure if whether or not they're like the people who are like snatching their bodies are unaware that the other people are trying to like get out. Like they're trying to come out.
Well,
they're
they're in the second place, I'm assuming.
They can see everything that's happening there. Remember, they just can't
exactly.
physically do anything. So I think because of that, like emotional, like subconscious pressure, is what starts making her eyes water.
But because my thinking is that like because she tears, and it's not like that moment like you showed me, everybody's like been like staring at somebody, and then like you tear up a little bit, and then you immediately wipe it.
Yeah. And
stuff like that. Like I feel like that moment when like she has that small tear, it's like she doesn't even realize that she's done it. Like it's like she's totally out of it. So who's buying a nuke?
So, is that guy part of their cult?
Yeah, that's why he's asking, because I feel like he's like, if I do this, do you think I'd be at a disadvantage than I am now?
Oh, okay.
So
it's not only that. So it's not only just white people.
No, it's people of privilege, but that is predominantly white people, given the history of the world.
But the idea is that he's a wealthy Asian man, and he's like, well, I'm doing pretty well and everything like that.
But I could be doing better, you know.
Yeah,
and also,
but not only that, but also, do you think that being, African American, does that hurt you? In the modern world? He's asking that question from that guy's personality. I mean, perspective, to kind of know, like, if I do this, will I be putting myself back?
Yeah, but also I think there's a lot of really great pieces online about this, too.
About this scene, or?
Well, this scene, fuck yeah. But, like, about Mr. Tanaka asking that question, like, why was there an Asian guy in there? I thought it was just white people. It's like, well, in a lot of other communities, like, even for Mexican communities, too, safe to say that, unfortunately, there are people that look down on darker,
right? Or like races. if they get like money, like if they acquire wealth, they
think of themselves like elitists and stuff. Yeah, like, well, I'm kind of leaving that behind. Yeah. And I think that was Jordan Peele trying to be like, yeah, you guys you're not all in the clear. Like you still got to look internally at your own culture and recognize race and issues in those too.
That's a very interesting scene of like the other him coming out. It's a very interesting scene.
And because I think because of where he is, he knows enough to know that he's not gonna get out, but he can warn this guy to get the fuck away as soon as possible.
Like, this happened to me. You need to leave.
Yeah. And he recognizes he's not going to have enough time to do much else, so he just, like, leave, run, go.
Well, because I imagine at this point, he's been in that body for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like,
I don't think they give a specific time, but yeah, it's been some time.
Well, I mean, you don't just go, it's not a week or two before you drive down to go meet your girlfriend's parents.
He didn't drive down.
No, but I mean, but I mean in general. Like, for when
Chris
Chris is dating their daughter. It's obviously been a couple of months, at least like 6 months, for like her to go like, I want you to meet my parents, and stuff like that.
I was talking about Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh no! Well, no, he was looking for her house. He was meeting her there.
Was he?
Yeah, that's the house that he was looking for.
I never caught that.
Because his photo is in the is in the thing, and that's why. He's looking at his phone and he's looking at the address and he's like, where is this house? Because he got lost in the neighborhood.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Catch something each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know later they just make a passing reference after visually showing you the opening that her brother is the one that kind of just like, he doesn't give a fuck, he'll just pick up people,
See, what I originally thought was that it's either he's looking for the house, or what I thought was he had just left because everything had gotten too awkward. And that's why the brother went to go find him.
Oh, this is really creepy how they do it silent. It's literally a silent auction.
It's a silent auction. It's literally a silent auction. It's awesome. But that's like...
Words have meaning, Nicholas.
No, but I mean, like, I mean, that definitely takes that word to that to a whole new level. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? But that's definitely what I think. You know, because you can hear him going like, oh yeah, where's the house? Or where am I going? And that's why he keeps checking his phone. So that's what I was always kind of questioning, if whether or not he had just left. And that's why the brother went to go get him, because they were like, we don't want to lose him.
I love the setup for this back and forth too, because it's so calm and serene. He's like pouring his heart out to Rose. It's by a lake. Like, it couldn't be any more like
very
indie film. Yeah,
it looks like
very like.
Not only that, but also you very much feel like because you can almost assume that she doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, some dumb people do.
If you hadn't seen the trailer, like I said earlier, I think you could not recognize that. Mm-hmm.
Because to be totally honest, I didn't remember the trailer when I had seen it a month ago. So when the reveal happens, I was like, fuck. Like, I was surprised by it. And stuff like that. And I like that idea of, like, this really pulls you in and kind of goes like, hey, like, she's a good guy. Like, she's on his side. Like, she's been... And it's really interesting, too, because she's been fighting for him the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good choice. I was going to say, what do you think of Academy voters that don't get out? What was that thing that, like, leaked?
Oh, yeah, someone was like, oh, well, you know, it's a good movie, but it's not very,
what did he say?
Not
something
an Academy Award-worthy movie or some shit like that.
Someone made the meme where it's like, yeah, we know it's you, Jennifer Warren.
I don't want to get into that, but I just think it's funny that the person who starred in Mother was like, yeah, Phantom Thread wasn't for me. And it was like, all right. That doesn't like upset me or anything. I'm just interested to hear like what is I want to hear what she's into now. Yeah. You know, like other people. I think other people got very pissed off about that. I'm like, I want to like see like a 10 from 2017.
It's like, you know, some people don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's film subjective. You don't have to like Get Out, for example. You know, I mean, you're wrong, but like
I'm interested to see Red Sparrow because I've heard so many mixed reviews.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I bet she's really good in it, and then I'm gonna be bored by it. Mm-hmm. Because that's usually what happens. It's not her fault.
Right.
I think it's her manager's fault. Yeah. Because I feel like
Passenger.
I feel like Jennifer.
She's very good in Passenger. She's very good in Mother.
I feel like she's getting these projects. She's being promised a lot of stuff and everything like that. Like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like your next. No, not franchise. Like, this is gonna be your new American Hustle. Like that, or
we don't talk about David O. Russell movies.
You know what it is.
No, but even this, like, it's so loving and it's so caring and it's like them in love, like. And
it's, I mean, honestly, if you were like to describe this movie on paper and describe Chris's arc about the trauma he's going through, you'd probably like from like a professor or something like that. You'd be like. You get notes about how, you're like, oh, well, you spend like an hour not bringing it up again. Why are you doing that? You have to keep feeding the arc. And that's like bullshit because film doesn't work in like a mathematical precision sense. Mm-hmm. You know, like it comes naturally when it needs to. And then it starts evolving from this point onward where he starts confiding in Rose, like officially, like here he's fully open with her. And I think by that point, not only just because the auction just went on, but by that point where she knows he fully trusts her, that she can go in for the kill finally.
Right.
I think also that she wants to go in for the kill because this is our last chance. He's leaving. If we don't do this now, he's gone.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna lose him tonight. And stuff like that. I remember them saying something about the ukulele. They were saying something about the tune in the commentary. I forget what it was. That it was just like the actor had just started playing it. And that was like his like thing. Like he just started playing it. Like he just thought like that was like his like menacing like song that he like the first thing he thought. Which I thought was like funny. I was like that's actually kind of cool.
Also, I love the way this movie's shot at night. I guess it's a very well shot movie too. Like not just like the look of it, but like how the images are presented to us.
Right.
But I love the way that they make night look blue.
Oh yeah.
I feel like a lot of older horror movies did that too. Like I just watched Pumpkinhead for the first time recently. Awesome, by the way. No one told me that was my new favorite movie. But the way Night looks at that, like some stuff they do with like the lighting and the fog and the atmosphere, it's like fuck, it's great. More like this, please.
The other cool thing about the ukulele thing is that's kind of like a confirmation that it was the brother who kidnapped the guy in the very beginning. Because he's whistling, because the guy who kidnaps him is whistling exactly the same song.
Mm.
So that's actually kind of cool, especially before. So it's kind of like one reveal after another, where it's like, oh yeah, this is what's going on.
Yeah. And then later when Chris is talking to Sergeant Bill Dauterive, he references like the difference between Rose and her brother grabbing them too, and how her brother's definitely more physical, to say the least.
I don't know. I feel like her brother couldn't do it. Like he couldn't like convince them and like sway them to like, we're gonna calmly drive you up there. We're gonna like, spend the night and everything like that.
I like how I think it's like a 6. I saw my son.
Yeah. Dude, they're gonna fuck you, man. You need to get out of there. It's a sex cult.
Battery must have fucking
died.
Yeah, he brings a lot of levity to like this movie. Really
he helps with the tension.
Yeah.
He really does help with the tension.
And I think it goes to show, like, you know how every Marvel movie complaint is like, well, there's so many jokes all the time.
Jokes, yeah.
It's like, wow. Like, have you ever seen, like, a movie where they're not just one thing the whole time?
Yeah.
It's kind of boring.
Like, yeah, I mean, not to say that movies can't do that. Like, fucking love like, Andrei Tarkovsky movies.
Yeah, it
but
has to be like DC dark.
Yeah, I don't need everything to be the same thing all the time.
Okay, not only that, but also, even if you were to look at, like, fucking groundbreaking movies, like, look at Casino. That movie's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That movie is hilarious. It is a really funny movie, and it breaks up a lot of, like, the action and what's going on. And the tension.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I don't want this to be fucking Schindler's List. You know, like, Jesus, not everything needs to be, like,
or it could be
oppressively depressing.
Oh, for sure.
Or if that's what you're going for, do that, but fucking don't make that be the standard across the board, because that's not what movies are.
Yeah. You never want to be seeing your ex's boyfriends, too.
Well, not only that, but also the way I took this is, like, a serial killer keeps, like scrunchies and shit like that.
Yeah,
or
like things of their victims.
Things of their victims, and I felt like the photos were her trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like mementos.
Everyone kind of has their little thing, you know? Like, the brother has the song, she has the pictures. Yeah, the mom has the cup, and then, what does the dad have? Well, Bradley Whitford's just so likable. Oh, no, he's the surgeon. Oh, I am the surgeon, yeah.
And then this is where...
this is the moment where he's... Because I think...
The Kill Bill siren could go on.
Honestly, I thought it was really funny, because originally, if you're just looking through that and you don't get to that last photo, it's like, dude, she has a fetish. Like, she's just really into black dudes. Was Lakeith Stanfield's photo on there?
No, because she didn't... No, I don't think so.
No, she didn't get him this right.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was going to the house, like, because that's why he's in the neighborhood. That's why he's looking for him. Oh, okay. Also, I think this is also in the commentary where like that door was kind of open. You know, like it might be like the serial killer thing again, where it's like, not only that she has momentum, like you brought up, Nick, like kind of wants to get caught because there's a little more excitement there. You know? Yeah. It's almost like that's her own fetish there, because like they're basically fetishizing black bodies, you know, and then selling them for profit. Yeah, and you can kind of tell they're all ready. Like they're like they knew this is gonna happen. I wonder how many times he dropped that fucking lacrosse pole. I know. Right? Like throughout the takes, like I wonder how many takes they had to do with like him spinning it and like accidentally dropping it. This is just an awkward fucking scene. You think so? It's just fucking awkward and like... I think it's kind of heartwarming. No, it's fucking disturbing, man. Well, I remember when I watched this, like my fucking heart was in my chest, like was in my throat, just like, oh god, what the fuck is gonna go on? And it's like I remember this moment where it's like, oh dude, get the fucking keys, and I'm like, and like as soon as that happens, I'm like, man, this bitch is in it. Like,
I think he even knows. He starts to know. He's like,
yeah, like
no,
he starts.
Please.
I feel like this is the moment when he starts putting it all together. Like, this was a fucking trap.
Yeah.
Like I'm trapped.
Right.
Yeah, he starts panicking. He's just, he understands what's going on. And it's so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but
I
got stuck watching the movie. This is a great scene. It's a great scene. I can't. Oh man, that's fucking cold.
What a dick.
It's so cold. It's just like, yeah, fuck you. Like you thought.
Like, that's excessive, you know? Like,
You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to fucking, like, torture me with this. You could have just, you know... No, but I really do think, like, I think she's a serial killer. I think she's definitely gotten a taste for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think her thing that, like, kind of, you know, gets her rocks off.
Yeah.
You know, is... No, but I think that's her thing.
Yeah,
is getting them in, like, a false security. And then just turning it on them.
Yeah, I would say, doesn't, like, she has, like, kind of, like, a onesie later? The girlfriend?
Yeah. Does she?
Rose?
No, she has she just has a white shirt with a black skirt.
Oh, okay.
Very waiter-esque.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, the significance of, like, her, like, waiter costume.
I think that's her, just, like...
I think that's
clean,
her normal...
cold...
I think that's...
Because I feel like it's...
Looking for her next victim already.
Right.
Yeah, that was... You know what? When we get to that, I was like... I'm like, damn, she's already fucking shopping?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she is shopping, man! She was going on Instagram like it was fucking Amazon, dude.
Like, you know, like some people, like, online will be like, oh, like, well, I like hunting because it's, like, respectful to nature or whatever, but I'm not a fan of hunting. Okay. But then other people, like, clearly are like, alright, you just like killing shit. Yeah. Like, you might actually have a problem.
Like, if
it's the most dangerous. It's like the most dangerous game.
Exactly.
The moment where like that moment where he's killed everything that like he possibly could. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that could satisfy like his thirst for the hunt is another fucking human.
Yeah.
Most dangerous.
This reminded me. Like I think it was like the first episode of Community, like in season 2 or 3. And Chevy Chase just walks in the room and is like, do you guys know there's an island in Indonesia where you can hunt people?
Yeah, probably what Chevy Chase actually does.
No, Chevy Chase wasn't saying a line. He was telling them a fact.
He just walked on the set. You know you can hunt people?
He was telling them a fact. Everybody thinks he's kidding. No, he was telling the truth. Oh man, and I do like this idea of like him not feeling right, and like him putting it, because to be totally honest, I mean, if you really think about it, I don't think it'd be that hard to fucking put it together.
Right.
You say that, but this doesn't happen in real life.
Yeah, but I mean,
to this extent.
Not only that, but also I mean, wouldn't it be kind of fucking like hard, like to pull this off, more or less?
Yeah, but. That's why it would be, like, not easy to figure out, I feel like, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it's not like he's there with him.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, what search engine was he using?
Was it Bing?
Was it Bing?
It was Bing.
I hope it wasn't.
I hate when people use Bing in movies like Amazing Spider-Man because people
wait. I love
totally
the little visual thing with
Target. It wasn't Bing. It was Google because Bing doesn't have that search result in the side.
Yeah, fuck you, Bing.
It was Google.
I hope I'm not being too cinema-sensy, but
no, Bing. It's just annoying. It doesn't ruin the movie or anything. It's not like a problem with the movie.
No,
it's just like no one uses Bing.
Or they use like Ask
Jeeves. The people that work at Bing don't use Bing.
Or they use like Ask Jeeves or something. Do you remember that one?
I thought this was very interesting too. Yeah. Like it's kind of like being trapped in another person's fucking man cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like
That's
like your
literally
dad's
what it
basement
is.
or something.
Huh?
That's literally what it is.
Yeah, it's being trapped in like.
On the back, there's the dartboard that looks like a target, and then in the front there's the
I
stag
like
head.
being like trapped in this is the man cave at your house, dude.
You wouldn't mind being trapped.
I mean, that's a nice.
You know what, Gene? I'm gonna knock you out, and then I'm gonna tie you to the fucking pool table.
Yeah, don't do that.
Let's see how much you like it.
Gene, you know there's no bathroom in there, right? Yeah. Or food or water.
No, there's drinks.
We're just gonna. Now you're tied to the fucking pool table, dude. I thought this was interesting of the idea that they feel like they have to explain it to them.
Yeah. Mm. How long has this video been around? You wonder?
Well, that's a fucking old TV.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that. What do you think? It's on beta?
Probably. Yeah.
we talking beta or we talking VHS?
Beta.
That'd be fucking funny. Have you seen those? I went to a Goodwill a couple weeks ago and I found a beta to VHS like thing where you put a beta tape and then you close it and it turns into a VHS. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, that's fucking hysterical. This is okay, my other thing is that I wasn't sure if the video was also another form of hypnosis.
No, I don't think it is. Because when the actual hypnosis starts, it's just the teacup again. And I think this is just them trying to be like, calm down. It helps the process if you're calm and shit, you know? And then it's like, oh, what the fuck?
Well, I'm wondering the sales pitch. Like, how do they fucking send this out? Like, is it... Because I think you're right. I think this is like the Templars or the fucking, like, Freemasons or anything like that. Like, you have to be invited into this. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that. Like, this is like a well-known rumor inside of, like, the wealthy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. For another reference that 5 people in the world will understand, Veronica Mars Season 3, that finale tackles a very similar concept with fraternities, though, instead of race and stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Where there's like this system, this wide network that is very well connected and has their own scrupulous little business dealings that are very, very shady.
Right.
Well, the reason...
Did that get resolved?
No.
Well, the reason why
the
reason why I liked...
Very interesting, though.
The reason why I brought up Altered Carbon is because I feel like it has a similarity to it of the idea of them body swapping to stay alive. Like, it's a form of immortality.
What do they call them in the show? Like,
sleeves.
Sleeves, yeah.
Like, they're called sleeves, where, like, yeah, these, like, this means absolutely fucking nothing. Mm. And everything like that. Like, if I die, I just come back as another fucking sleeve. And everything else. And I thought that was really, really interesting. I think that's what kind of got me, like, interested in it. Because it's kind of like, yeah, if you're a fucking evil person, you know, you had the benefit of, you know, death. Yeah. You know, like Kim Jong-un or anybody like that. Like, they had, like, you know, like...
You know they'll die eventually.
Yeah, you know they'll die eventually.
It's like they can't, like, cure...
But the idea of, like, they fixed death. They have immortality. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that. And they even go into, like, why exactly it was made. It was made because the scientist who developed it basically said, I wanted to explore the universe, and I knew I wouldn't be able to do it in one lifetime. So I developed this technology, and then it just got out of hand. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that. And I feel like that this is kind of what they're doing, is like another form of immortality.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all those elderly men, like, it looks like they're shopping for a new vessel. Like, mm-hmm. And not only that, but also once they go in, they can do whatever they want. They're young again. They can, you know, they have the vitality of a younger man. Because who knows how long the grandfather's been doing it for.
Like, yeah. If it's been going on for generations. I guess technology probably caught up in this universe, like... I feel like around the time, 1950s, just because of the TV, mm-hmm. and also a lot of other things in real life.
Yeah. I do like this scene because it's hilarious of, like, that moment of, I fucking told you. Yeah. Like, you didn't fucking believe me, and, like, listen to this, like, going out to the water cooler and going, like, never gonna fucking believe what this guy fucking told me. And then going, like, why? What did he tell you? And it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna bring you in and have him tell you. Because he's still here. I'm
and this is why I also think it's a good representation of like it being very difficult to solve what's actually happening if this was happening in real life, because it's like
no one will believe you.
Yeah, no one will believe you. It's like Robin Williams stealing, or fucking who was it?
Nick Cage.
Bill Murray stealing someone's French fry and being like, no one will believe you, which is apparently a real story. So
that's hilarious though, of going like, oh, no one would believe you.
Yeah.
And just walking away. It's so true. Who would believe that? Yeah. I do. I totally believe that. That sounds like a Bill Murray thing to do. Fucking trying to put it all together.
Yeah.
And honestly, if this movie wasn't the short runtime that it was, this is where the movie starts falling apart. Because how much more can you really get out of it, you know?
Trying to solve this.
Yeah.
I feel, and you know what? I feel, because I was talking about this with one of our friends, that an hour 30 minutes actually is a great feel for a runtime.
It's a great runtime for something like
a horror
a low-budget horror movie. Comedies should be like this.
Thrillers are great at an hour and 40.
Horror thrillers with the same fucking...
I feel like horror and thriller, because I feel like horror is much more...
Oh my, I remember you brought that up on the podcast and it made me want to vomit on
Why? What's the... Because I feel like horror is more...
Is this a horror movie or is it a thriller?
This would be a thriller.
This is clearly a horror movie.
No, it's a thriller. It's high suspense.
I think it's a horror film with thriller elements.
Thriller, I think, like Born Ultimatum or something, you know? Like, it's an action movie, but it's thrilling. Like, thriller is like the medium to a genre. It's not like the genre.
Potato.
And it's a song, too.
Yeah, Thriller's an excellent song.
I feel like we're just going to have to agree to disagree on this.
Yeah, because you're fucking... You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do!
What? Get out to Thriller.
Hold on.
It's a horror thriller.
You look this up on fucking any other media and this pops up on fucking Thriller.
Because people are fucking stupid.
But that's a search engine, though.
Yeah.
So what? It has to be filed.
Netflix search engines say, like, classic movies, and they have, like, 7.
Can't feel.
No, hold on.
Can't feel.
Hold on. A human had to categorize it and go, Thriller.
What was that one?
It was like saying Rotten Tomatoes is a viable source of film criticism.
What was that one meme where, like...
It's an aggregator, not a person. Okay, what?
Was there, like, a glitch on Netflix where, like, someone watched a kid's movie and then, like, was it recommended, like, a rated R film or something?
No, it wasn't a glitch. What people were doing is they were, like... They were marking who could watch it as, like, G... And then they were putting...
people did that purposely.
Yeah, and they were doing it purposely, and then, like, they were putting on, like, R-rated movies, so that way it would automatically, like... And then they would give it, like, a really friendly title. And it would be, like, blood and gore.
Yeah, right.
And, like, little kids would start watching it. This is an awesome scene.
And her face doesn't change.
Oh, yeah.
She's just saying...
But her voice does.
Yeah.
Her voice changes. And is making all of the emotion. She's very robotic. What?
I love it. Just like
fuck you, bye.
He's like, fuck you.
I like the idea of like he hung up and he was like, wait, fuck, I didn't mean to hang up.
But you're just so freaked out by that. Like, I mean, what else do you even do? You know.
You know, what I originally thought they were gonna send the brother to go get him.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been wild.
Like, that's what I originally thought. They were going to send the brother to go get him because he's asking too many questions.
That would have been a very different ending, I feel like.
Yeah. Because I feel like that in a movie that, like, they're trying to close off all the loose ends, that's a huge fucking loose end.
Right.
Yeah, but, I mean, no one already believes them, you know? And so I'm sure they'd be like... They have resources, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, to be like, hey, did anyone say anything about anything over there? In that anywhere?
Isn't that anywhere?
Yeah. You know, did someone somewhere say something, someone?
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny because you can kind of tell that that's a digitally added screen.
Nah, like, fuck it, it's fine.
No, because I've worked with a lot of CRTVs, and you know that little flash? Yeah. It's from the bulb going out. Mm-hmm. But usually what happens is that it goes up. It doesn't just stay in one spot. Yeah. So it will go up, and then it will, like, rotate back.
Yeah. I don't know if he shot the TV footage or anything else either. I guess that's a personal preference. I like it when they show TVs and movies or something like that. Like, shoot the rest of this movie digitally and then shoot that like on like 16mm or something like that.
Yeah, like they show it on the screen.
This is a low budget movie, so I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna hold it against it or anything. It's fucking.
It's not. You know what? Actually,
like everything else in the movie's fine, but that bothers me.
I fucking love like that scene in Dark Knight where the Joker is doing his tape.
Oh yeah.
And like for a movie that was like shot in fucking IMAX, it's like so grainy. And
it's like the same camera used in 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
This is like fucking. You can't upgrade it to Blu-ray. Because the quality of the camera couldn't capture that quality.
Yeah, man.
Which is a fact, but there will never be a good-looking version of 28 Days Later now. Because technology surpassed how that movie's presented. Which is kind of a bummer, because that's a great movie.
That movie is so low budget. I actually walked out of 28 Days Later when I was a kid.
Oh, why?
Too intense? I just didn't like it.
I thought it was boring. When I was a kid, I thought it was boring.
Why, because it wasn't a thriller, it was a horror movie?
Second place.
No, I got bored. So, which was funny, because my mom got bored too. And then we were like, yeah, fuck this movie. And we left. And then she ended up taking me to like the arcade that's down the street. And we ended up just like hanging out in the arcade for like 2 hours.
That's funny.
I like how he's kind of like patronizing a bit with the humorous character. How would you describe him?
I wouldn't describe him as patronizing. I think he's like.
I think he's being honest with him.
He's being honest.
Okay.
And these people,
like how honest he is, I guess. As
these people are so just like have no moral compass that they don't know how to be like empathetic.
Yeah,
you know?
at least like he's like, I don't know, something about him being like upfront with how like terrible he is.
No, dude, he's talking about it like he's buying new pants.
Yeah. Which is it's definitely its own weird way of being fucked up.
Like,
it's not less fucked up or more fucked up. It is all fucked up.
It's a different kind of
yeah, like
fucked up.
he's talking to Chris like he's buying a new jacket or pants, and he's just changing them out. And it's not gonna be a big fucking deal and everything like that. How interesting would it have been if the ending would have been him and the TSA guy going on a fucking murdering spree over the like kicking in fucking doors and just like murdering people.
That's out in Tarantino movie. That is Django Unchained, which I love. But that's not this movie.
Speaking of Tarantino, did you hear who finally signed on for his new movie?
Yeah, they were gonna sign on anyways.
Yeah, no matter.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's a topic for another time because that's a loaded conversation given recent things. But I love this old timey setup for this basement so much.
Oh yeah. And
how it's like it really goes to emphasize just how long this has been going on as well.
Isn't there like an ancient philosophy about like 4 pillars of the universe?
Maybe.
Or something like that?
Probably.
Well, because I thought it was interesting that he's... Well, I remember hearing something about 4 pillars.
I believe so, yeah.
And to kind of like have him like sitting in the middle between these 4 pillars.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, I just think that's kind of interesting. Also, that this is like a generational thing. Like his son is learning how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
With his father's tools.
Bald heads scare me.
What's that?
Bald heads scare me.
Did my bald head scare you?
Yeah.
Why?
It did?
Well, I think just prosthetic bald heads. Because you can always kind of tell when they're fake. You know, like this one, that man... It was actually, like, he actually shaved his head, I believe, for the role. But, like, that one, they're cutting into it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have a problem with blood in film. I have a problem with blood in real life. I can't stand it. But that combination bothers me. And also that reflection in the glasses is perfect. Because, like, any good, way of building tension in your horror movie...
Don't show it.
Don't show too much. Mm-hmm. You know? If you're doing like exploitation or some shit, whatever, splatter the blood with walls. But like, show as much as you need to get the effect. Don't just show off your effects.
I feel like the thing that you were saying that it's like the Templars or anything like that is shown because of the photos in the hallway. Like it's very much like class photos, like at a high school or something like that, where they have like class photos of like every generation that like has gone through it. And stuff like that. remember when I was watching this, I was like, God, I can't wait till this guy fucking dies.
And it's just that one hit to the back of the head. Fuck.
Yeah, man. You know how fucking heavy those things are?
Yeah, like, what kind of is that?
It's,
like
it's a croquet ball.
Croquet ball.
Those things are fucking heavy as shit, dude.
That was I think my screening, everyone was like, there was like...
Yeah, mine too.
To be totally... what was it? When that happened the first time, I was watching it, I cheered. I was like, yeah! I'm like, yeah.
Brains.
I don't know why that reminds me of RoboCop.
RoboCop? Yeah. Some really good productions done in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. But I don't know why that reminds me of RoboCop every single time I see it.
Do you guys remember that one scene in RoboCop where it's like, okay, so the whole movie is like, it's pretty serious, like...
You're talking about RoboCop 1, 2, 3, or 4?
RoboCop 1 where, everything's...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I guess the antlers were CG when they went through him. They weren't like a prosthetic thing he was going into or anything.
So RoboCop 1, where like, it's
so
pretty...
Back to
everything's
RoboCop.
like pretty like,
Don't mind this guy going on a murdering rampage.
Everything's like pretty believable, in a sense. But then there's that one scene where the guy like gets hit by acid and then he turns into like a monster.
No, his skin fucking removed.
Like he's like his head becomes elongated.
Yeah, he's mutating.
Yeah, he's like I think either it was like waste. It was like nuclear waste or some shit like that.
But that's still a weird scene. Like it feels like
RoboCop's a weird ass movie.
It's a weird fucking movie, dude.
But that
is not in our reality.
Yeah, it kind of bugged me for some reason.
Why
that's the part that's the part that fucking not like they put a man in a fucking robot suit and like he's now like fucking tearing up in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah, the cup. I've never felt so much tension around a cup in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And Peele has a really good discussion on the commentary about like how far Chris was willing to go with this point, because they're like they were going to take everything from him, and so how like that, like just that adrenaline and like that fury, that righteous fury.
Yeah, he doesn't even feel it.
Yeah, and like even if he did feel it, like it wouldn't even matter, just because he knows that like if he doesn't fight back, he's going to die. He's going to die.
Yeah, I also felt like no matter what, he's doing this for, like, he's doing this because he knows it's the right thing. Like, I have to do this.
And, it's not like an action thriller or anything like that, but, like, very good action choreography with this part right here.
Also, I remember hearing something about this scene was supposed to show that the fact that Chris is like a lot smarter than everybody else. Like he's a lot smarter than they think. Mm-hmm. Because of the idea of every single time Chris opens the door, he notices that he kicks it with his left foot.
Yeah. He
keeps on kicking it with his left foot every single time he opens it. So that's why when he does it again, that's when he fucking stabs him because he knows it's gonna happen.
Right foot, but yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right foot. I mean.
A good kill.
Dude, fuck this guy, man.
Seriously. And then like this, like you don't need to show anything for that. Like the
no, you don't.
Sound does enough.
Yeah, we're burning the fucking house down. It doesn't matter.
I like the lighting too, with like all the smoke and everything.
Mm-hmm. More horror movies should use those fog machines.
Got those fucking keys.
Fucking like a half an hour later into the movie. Just chilling, looking for her next victim.
Fucking Bing! I told you it was Bing.
Of course she uses Bing.
Okay, it makes sense for her,
Yeah.
I guess.
I thought it was funny that she was looking up athletes. Like, it was like, alright, now my thing is that, okay.
But wouldn't an athlete...
and that was interesting to me too, that after she posts the photo.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just so eerie to me, and that was like the idea of like they're trophies. Like this is I'm not ashamed of these. I'm very proud of what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like her life's work.
Yeah.
Then you go. That's the
That's the helmet we're talking
It's
about.
like, for him, he doesn't even know. She's just like, oh, yeah, sure, why not? You know? Like, so much crazy shit's happening.
I'm not even surprised.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even surprised about this. Ooh. Fucked her.
Yellow got away.
And because the story he tells about his mom, which we didn't really talk about, but that's his trauma he's overcoming.
No, yeah,
Why he has to go back. Oh, so sad.
I feel like the trauma that he's going through and everything like that, and like this moment of like he feels like he has to save her.
Mm-hmm. Especially because she had that one little inkling of like
possible-
possibility, like she might still be in there.
Yeah.
You know?
This is an interesting fucking scene.
Yeah, and then that was in the trailer right there, and so right there I was like, oh fuck, the girlfriend's in it. I mean, the movie's still incredible, so it doesn't matter. But
I feel like trailers are starting to get a little bit better, but like I feel like if you really want to go into a movie fucking blind, sometimes just avoid trailers. Like,
yeah. Like basically anything that costs less than like $100 million, I will try to stay away from a trailer now, or like I don't actively seek it out.
Yeah.
Unless they like just play it on a giant fucking screen with the arc light or something, then I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna walk out of the theater to avoid it.
Yeah.
Like if a movie's good, a movie's fucking good, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to be surprised by things, but that doesn't make or break a movie for me.
Yeah, but I always thought it was really interesting on like kind of the way that certain trailers are cut, because I know that the director doesn't necessarily have like say of like this is what goes in a trailer.
Not all of them. Edgar Wright, I think, edited the Tequila trailer for Baby Driver,
Yeah.
Oh,
which is just an incredible fucking trailer.
That's not right. Get him, Grandpa.
And here they're like full redneck. Get him, Grandpa.
Get him, Grandpa. My daddy once said. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't a black skirt. It is khakis. She is wearing khakis.
It's like the whitest outfit ever.
Yeah, she's wearing skin tight khakis. Oh man, this is a fucked up scene.
Yeah, and like, I think by this point he knows that he can never have a normal life again because
Oh yeah, no,
that person's in him.
Yeah, he knows he can never be him. There's no way. There's only one way out of this.
Yeah. I mean, that and /or that he can't live with what someone else did with him.
Exactly. Like
yeah,
I can't.
It's a
I can't,
whole other level of fucked
not only
up.
that, but also I kind of feel like he doesn't. He also wants to do it as fast as possible because if you notice, he does that fucking quick.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he doesn't know how long he has until he comes back, and it's like I have to finish this now.
And
So you haven't seen the alternate ending?
no.
What do you know about the alternate ending?
He goes to prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cops come and they take him to prison.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the ending Jordan Peele wanted.
Yeah, and then
Jason Blum was like, he told him like, you know, maybe you should change the ending, and then like Jordan Peele was like, oh, he kind of disagreed, but then they test screened it, and then it wasn't working as.
Was that the story? I thought he changed it.
I thought it was
I know
because
they talked about it, but just because like he wanted to leave people on a higher note.
Yeah, he wanted people to end on a higher note. That's under my understanding.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also I felt like he wanted. I think the shootings had just happened, and there was a couple of like police shootings, and they didn't necessarily He didn't want.
It's very sad that anyone could be like, which one? You know.
But I think Jason Blum did suggest.
He might have suggested it, but I think it was like the idea of like, you know, he wanted to end it on a brighter note and stuff like that. Because the idea
in real life, unfortunately, if cops show up to this situation, it doesn't go the way this movie goes.
Well, not only that, but also in the alternate cut, his friend is like going like, "Dude, I hired the best lawyer. We're gonna fight this out. We're gonna get this shit done, and everything like that. Like, you're not gonna stay in here forever." And he has that moment of he knows that what he did is the right thing, and he just says like, "Don't like I'm okay with this. Like, just leave me in here. That's it." I really do love this fucking...
Yeah, and like, you know what? Like, this is the better ending.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen the other one. I feel like this is the right choice for this movie. Not just like for the story, but like for what the movie ended up meaning. You know, like in the pop culture zeitgeist and like for black people of color.
To be totally honest, I thought it was going to end with the lights coming on, him putting his hands up, and like you seeing the cop car, and then it was just going to go to black. Like, very ambiguous and like not knowing necessarily what happened.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And everything else. But I love this idea of like, man, I told you not to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like Indiana, right?
No, this is the best one. TS motherfucking A.
They do. They keep dangerous people out in airports.
Fucking handled.
What's a pod? You know, TSA. They do a wonderful job keeping us safe.
And they're not randomly selecting people.
Well, you know.
I got randomly selected ones.
Alright, so that's Jordan Peele's directorial debut. The first movie he ever directed. What the fuck?
I can't wait till what he does next.
Imagine that's your first movie? That's Night of the Living Dead, Evil Dead player level.
Do we know how long it took him to write?
I think it took him like 2 years to get it made. Like just write it, like the whole process from writing.
2 years. That's actually not bad.
No. Well, it's a lower budget movie, so those can go quicker.
Yeah,
it's the big budget stuff. It takes like 3 years of your life away.
Yeah, I think this is. I mean, damn, this is such a good fucking movie.
So low
incredible.
And I think I like this ending way better than the alternate ending. Because I have to admit, when I saw, what was it, Airport, and I see him popping out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it says Airport Security, which on TSA.
That also got cheered on my screening. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I saw that in the cave, I was like, fuck yeah! Like, I was like, thank God! Because I thought he was going to go to jail. I originally thought he was going to go to jail.
Yeah. They will lean that way.
Did you guys see there's a deleted scene with in the sunken place where there's like a creature, because like one of the credits was creature puppeteer, is like the
that's in the trailer too.
It's in the trailer.
The deer antlers, skeleton thing.
I kind of wish they kept that on.
Yeah, it's not in the movie. It's cut, but it looked really cool. I guess it just didn't work with the overall flow of the movie.
Right.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I think that would make it would make it kind of weird.
I can get with that because he's ultimately a trophy for them too. All right, so last thoughts on Get Out, Nick.
Damn, I think this movie only gets better every single time I watch it. Like you said, you see new shit all the time. Because to be totally honest, the pictures behind her head, I didn't notice that the first time. I saw that this time and I was like, fuck yeah! See, look, it's right there. Which I guess that confirms who was going in and out of the thing. It was her. And stuff like that. So that's interesting. I think the movie is really well done. Damn, he did a fucking awesome job for his first film.
Oh, for sure.
Gene.
Yes, I love Jordan Peele's directorial debut. Everything he did was great, and I can't wait to see what he does in Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah, he's doing that, huh?
Wait, he's doing Twilight Zone?
He's doing a Twilight Zone reboot, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But he's not gonna like direct all of them or anything.
No,
he's
just doing an episode.
Yeah,
he's executive producer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him doing an episode.
I wouldn't either, but he's working on a new movie that shoots this fall, so looking forward to that. Yeah, Get Out, incredible. One of the best movies of 2017, if not the best. I don't know if it's gonna win the Oscar because we were recording 2 days before that. If it won Best Picture, I would be Best Picture or Best Director. Both are. It got a big push. I wouldn't be surprised.
Director?
I would be happy.
No, I can see director. I don't see Best Picture.
Director's Del Toro or Greta Gerwig. Watch.
Okay.
Not a problem either.
No, Shape of Water and.
So wrapping up.
Wrapping up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Find all Waffle Prince links down below in the description. like, subscribe if you didn't like and subscribe anyways because you might find something you do like. Also, support our Patreon because that lets us do more of these and help us get better equipment so we can move into the future. Okay, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We have been professionally unprofessional.